but really it's been an effort through this year with the Saturn moon that to just complete this webinar series, so I get up through the progressions. But I progress Mars square Neptune. That's a big aspect that's going on for a lot of years, but it's exact. It only tells you the exact. It doesn't tell you when it's, how close or how long it's left. It doesn't give you the orbs. But then in this system also, they have a degree system. We use the I Ching and the lines of the hexagrams or the pentans, subpentans for these smaller divisions. They use a symbol. There's a number of symbolical systems and for degrees of the zodiac. Some based on stars, some based on numbers, some based on Kabbalah, some based on intuitions, and this one's based on the Sabian symbols, which Ridger and Dane Ridger and Mark Edmund Jones used. And Mark Edmund Jones started, and these are abbreviations of, because a symbol for each degree. I don't like them. I liked them at first, but they're really Christian colonial symbolisms. If you're white, Christian, colonial, these will work for you. If you're not, they don't exactly fit in quite the same way. So I found the I Ching to be much more, but it still gives you convenient 1 degree positions of the sun when it changes degrees. Okay, so it's close to the report that I'm doing. It's just organized a little differently. Tells you when the moon's going through what houses, tells you the transits for the progressed moon going through houses, tells you when the transits of Saturn are going through houses. So this is a nice report for a lifetime. It has a transits and progressions. For a consultation, that's useful. But for the progressions, you want that progressed report. So these are the 2 reports going over this area. But what we want to do, but they don't give you the calculator hardcore data like these printouts, like you see in front of me. It says transits to natal, transits to transit. So usually I just do the transits to natal and have those down here. All the transfer, I usually have them for 2 years. Since this was set for my birth date, no. Okay, I'll leave it there. We're going to sit here, we're going to go up to this save searches, okay? And we go up and there's a whole pile of searches that are organized to run on this. And we made some of our own, I made some of my own for that, but we're just going to take the ones that are there. There's one that says progress 60, there's one that says, and one that says secondary progressions, but they jumped them all together and put them in order, in chronological sequence. We want them more separate. So we want to get the secondary ones. Oh, I have to just go in and check. There's this one, secondary progressions here too, that puts all the aspects in. Okay, so it just did all the progressions, calculate them out for, but we've entered the chart now, and this did this for 60 or 80 years, 90 years. But what I want to do is we've entered it, we go into this bottom section here, re-enter search. And it brings up the search that was just done. And you'll see here, has progressed to progressed and progressed to natal. Right now, we're going to take out the progressed to progressed. So I'm going to click on here and put delete. Delete the search of pro to pro. Yes, we can get it back again on this column by hitting here. It would come up again and you see it again, but we want to delete it. I want progressions to natal chart. And here it's searching Moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars. That's not doing any other planets to the chart. So we want to go in and edit this. Okay, first we've got, for my birthday, we've got 90 years. Yeah, that's generally good enough. You can stick it up to 100 if you want to. You know, you can get up to, no, it goes to 90. You can customize it and stick it here and put up to 2046. But we'll leave it at 90 for that. Like, go in here and you can change it to 2046 to get it going to get the 100 years. But I'll just leave it at the 90 years. I want to go in, we're in this searches chart. How we got here, we went into, we did a search, it progressed to natal. Then this came up, it was this. Okay, I'm just going to do this one more time. We went into here to save searches and we searched down. There's progressed. There's 1 year, one for secondary progressions. I did the year 2 secondary progressions. I think that's the one I did, and it came up like this. So that ran about, but it didn't do just 2 years. It did for the 90 years. It did for 100 years. So probably. So anyways, then we come in and we come up. We do the re-enter search, and the search comes up. We see the progressed, so that you can see on the sheet on the background, you can see progressed to natal, progressed to progressed. They're all put in order. too much information to deal at once. So we're going to take out this. We click on it, highlight it, and I'm going to mark delete. Delete the progressed to progressed. Ask you to, for sure, yeah. So we delete it. Now we just have to progress to natal. Okay, and we're going to edit it. We're going to change what it is. So this is important functions to know. You can click on it and delete it. You can click on it. I don't know if you even have to click on it when there's only one, but you click on it to edit it, and the edit menu comes up. Here in the edit menu, they put the Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars to all the planets. See, with progressions, in the transits we see Mars out to Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, we see really dramatic things with the conjunction squares and oppositions of those planets. With the progressions, they move really slowly. We don't get much happening with those. There are things that are valid, we'll get to, but when the Moon or Mercury or Venus hits the Mars or it hits the Uranus or Neptune, whoa, they're very dramatic. So we begin to understand how the inner planets get affected, run into the outer planets by progressions. We see the disruptions from the outer planets to the inner planets by transits, but by progressions, we begin to learn about Mercury and Venus a lot more. So here we are. We've got the target. We want to do one planet at a time. Okay. If we did the Moon, it's going to be a huge spread. It doesn't take long, but we're going to just do the, well, I could do each one, but we're going to just turn these off. I'm just clicking on it to turn them off, leave the Sun. We want the Sun to all the planets. It puts the nodes. I leave the nodes in for the progressions just to see them. It puts the house. I'm going to click here so it puts when it changes sign, when it changes house. I want when it goes retrograde to direct the stations. Okay, now, okay, we'll just do this. The aspects that it's told me, which is just your conjunction squares, oppositions, trines, sextiles, but let's just put it standard. If you put standard, it would give you the 30 degrees and 150. It's too much. Let's just leave it at Ptolemy. And so we have the Sun to Ptolemy, the main aspects. I'll put the other ones in. We'll go up to the standard. It says Ptolemy. It doesn't look like it's there. It comes up like this, but you have to push up a bit, and it's the top one, the standard one. So standard aspects includes 30, 150, which we don't use, but it'll include it. So there we have the progressions of the Sun, searching the Sun, to Moon, Mercury, Venus, to everything, and the standard aspect set. So we've reset. I mean, you can go along, this search goes on where you can check all kinds of things, all these other things that you can check, secondary progression stations, science house. Okay, so we're there. Generally, we're just seeing this. I'm just going to look at this edit again. We're in the edit. So we clicked on the signs, houses, aspects. We went to see aspect standard. You have lots of choices for the aspects. You can take squares, oppositions, whatever. Here we'll just put the standard. The advanced options, you can put a user parallel conversion. We would just put on the true node and extra points if you want them. So that's basically what we got. So we've set up the foundation, the Sun to all the planets. We want to watch the progressed Sun. Boom, there it is. And we're going to watch it for that 100-year period, no, 90-year period. And it's in the tropical and be set up. Those should be set up by themselves. So we just hit OK. Now, right there on the screen, you see your Sun's progressions for a lifetime. Where it starts, what it goes through is not a lot of things for a lifetime, but each one of these things will last 2 years. Okay, a degree going in, degree going out, and they could say they last they're phases that last many more years, but critically for 2 years, where you're going through these changes or these shifts. But this gives you the date and the time of the aspects, the house cusps, the signs. This is the material that you would need to fill out the star chart that I'm going to use. You can just work with this. You don't need the star chart. And the star chart is such a deluxe way of looking at this, and it makes it easy. It gets totally, it's still a mental exercise, but it limits how much you're having to, but this will give you the information you need. If you're going to do a chart, you got it. But I still like to do one planet at a time mostly, because all at once you scramble, you lose your continuity between your purpose in your life, your heart, where you're going, and how it's evolving across your lifetime. Where are you in this process? So in my case, I look up and go along the left-hand side, 2017, 24, 2021, I get Sun square Neptune. Oh, great. Another couple of years, I get really spaced out, or sometimes that's very mystical, sometimes that's confusing, so I'm getting older, who knows. But I have that coming up. I'll be finished the webinar, and I might be too spaced out to do webinars after that. Who knows? I'll just shift over to music or something, or meditating. But you can see that's my puzzle. It's going to start coming up next year, just as the webinar is finished. What's next? And I won't be sure. It took a lot of energy to put the webinars together. So now, once that's done, I'll be in a bit of postpartum depression almost, or postpartum confusion for a year or two after that, what to do next. Okay, but that's the progression. Now there's one other thing I want to show you. If you want to do it, this is simple, clearly. It gives you the information we need to use to put on the graph, to study, to know it, to work with the class. But if you go into edit again, we went back up into the, okay, where I went back up to re-enter search. That's the search we just did, there it is. We're going to edit this. And right here, it comes up with events showing if we click on enter leave, okay, click on enter leave, and we run that, it comes up, but okay. All of a sudden, it gives you 3 points for every aspect. So if we look at this Sun Neptune I just saw on my chart, I have to go down now. Okay, Sun to Neptune, there's 3 hits. It starts September 2020, within 1 degree. It's exact. It says enter, exact, and leave. It shows you, tells you when it enters 1 degree, when it separates. It's exact on September 14th, 2021. It's separating by September 7th, 2022. So there's the 2 years of the Sun Neptune aspect.